Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good whatever time of day it may be for you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Layback Gamer, and I'm here with my latest 100 days in hardcore Minecraft. Here I plan on doing something a little different. Now, we could go out on a big adventure, or go on a boss killing spree, or go dimension hopping, or even attempt a mega build or two. However, in these 100 days, we're going to be doing absolutely none of that. At least as the main goal. No. We're doing something else. We're going to be cooking up as many dishes as we can and eating said dishes for our enjoyment. Meaning we'll be farming, trading, and building some small builds that fit with the style. But I think I've taken up enough of your time with this intro, so without further ado, time to get to the video watching mode. How do you do that? Well, I'll tell you. You sit back, relax at a comfortable angle, grab yourself a beverage and some delicious food, and enjoy the show as I survive and thrive in 100 days of hardcore Minecraft CookingCraft Edition. As with every inspiration goes, you need the right place to start off with. Unfortunately for me, this time around, it only took me a single seed refresh, and I found possibly the best seed I could ever ask for. There's two mountains forming a nice valley with ocean access that sort of transitions into a plateau. There's a village within the view of spawn, and said village has two blacksmiths, two ice and fire villagers, whatever they're called, and the best part about it, not a single crocodile in sight, because I cannot count how many times I've died to crocodiles before. It's probably more than I have failed, probably more than any other run I've had. It's been death to crocodile. So, with a village in front of me, of course, spent the day looking around, looting up the village, sealed up a couple of caves, well, partially sealed up, and explored a nice cavern that leads to the top of one of the plateaus. I got something planned in mind for that to lead to the top. Day 2 rolls around and didn't do a whole lot today, just chopped down some wood and built up the animal pens a bit. The next day I continued the eating passion and managed to get another 2 extra hearts, bring my total up to 4 additional hearts, or 14 total. And after a bit of exploring around the area, I think I may have enough new food to be able to get an additional 2 hearts tomorrow. 6 hearts within a few days? I say that's pretty good. I spent some time clearing up and lighting up a small opening within the mountain. Actually, one of the cavern that I sealed off, which gave me an idea for a first structure underneath the mountain, a underground cold storage. It also serves the purpose of hiding a temporary tunnel to Y11, but it'll eventually be storing everything in there that would need to be kept cold. So meats, I guess foods, other fruits, vegetables, that sort of thing, for down there. It's also my personal storage area for now. 5 days in, and we're starting to dig down to Y11. Gonna want some stairs to go down here, even though this is temporary. However, I don't have any iron for a stone cutter. At least, I don't have any iron ore. I am sorry for what I have to do to this village. After a generous donation from one of the iron golems, I was able to get my stone cutter, and I placed down a bunch of stairs down to Y11. Much smoother, much smoother. I cannot live without stairs going down to Y11. I also collected some oak wood, palm wood, and sugarcane, all for later use, though some sooner than others. 1 week in, and we started smoothing out the cold storage. I said something else for a second there. I'm going to go with a completely stone roof for the time being, but I might eventually break it up a little bit into adding in some cobblestone as well as some rocky stone to sort of break it up a little bit. Not too much though, just a little bit. I've also started to build up. I want to build up a large wheat area where it's going to be fed in with an aqueduct. This is going to be the case for most of the farmland that stretches further into the valley, but a wheat's going to be a good starting place. So to that end, I'm going to need a cobblestone generator. Back down in the mines, it didn't take me too long to find gold, to find an open cave, find diamonds, and gather more iron. I wasn't planning on hunting for diamonds at the moment, but you know, it's this'll work out, as I was planning on using a couple of buckets to build up some obsidian at the top. But hey, diamond pickaxe gonna make this go a lot faster. Day 9 rolls around, and well, I'm basing this cobblestone generator off of one that I don't remember where I've seen it, but it's actually rather simple cobblestone generator to put together. I, for some reason, thought I needed an observer, which turned out to be a bad mistake on my part. But hey, at the time, I thought I needed it, so we're going into the Nether, and that's something we're going to be doing on day 10. And we traveled into the Nether, thanking everything out there that we didn't spawn in the Crimson Forest, because the mosquitoes there are, well, they're part of a 1-2 combo. You get hit by a crimson mosquito, and then you get hit by a hoglin, and you're just suddenly dead. That may or may not have happened to me a couple times in the past. I got the quartz that we needed and came back, but I found myself in the middle of a blood moon, which was not ideal. Rather than taking the smart decision and going back into the Nether and just waiting it out, I decided I had to defend the village at all costs. Though all costs emphasized there, as we lost the other iron golem in the fight. Hate to see, he was such a good man. Hate to see him go out like that. Mr. Iron Golem, you will be missed. I'd like to just quickly point out that I am not a redstone genius. So for the next about 5 days, I spent trying to put together a cobblestone generator that takes 3 minutes to put together. Yeah, I'm not exactly the best person, the smartest person when it comes to redstone. I can do many other things. I can design pretty well. I'm pretty good at survival. I'm good at being able to hit things with a big sword, or, well, really just survive for anything. Heck, I've even survived against ice and fire dragons before. Redstone, though? Nah, I'm the equivalent of a caveman when it comes to redstone. So I wanted to add a little something extra to these 100 days videos, or at least this 25 day and going forward from here, the next 25 days, and etc, etc. So what you got up on screen is something that I took the time and I made. It was a medieval pottage, which, if I remember to, hopefully there will be a link in the description, or maybe I'll even have that posted right below the picture. But yeah, I took a vegan pottage and added a little bit extra to it, took a little bit out, and this is the finished result. I accidentally put a little too much pepper into it. The meat that we chose to use in this was lamb, and it kind of gave it the brownish look that it's got. Not the best looking thing, but it does taste really good, minus the extra peppery flavor. So yeah, it was pretty good, pretty tasty. One of the first things, well, I've made plenty of other things before. This is the first thing I actually went out, bought a lot of ingredients for, mixed it all together and cooked it up, and it ended up coming out pretty good for one of my first attempts. This is the first time I've tried it, and ever since I have tried it on a couple more occasions, one of which you will see in the next 25 days, so be sure to stay tuned for that. It's not all going to be, really, I took a lot of time making it. I think one of them another one I got coming up is going to be a sandwich that I normally love having. But yeah, I just wanted to showcase this off, and something that's called CookingCraft. I thought it was pretty appropriate to showcase it off here. And well, yeah, kind of out of things to talk about this. So yeah, that's my little extra thing in there. Now let's get back into what actually happened within these 25 days. Or if you're watching the whole thing, get back to what we were doing in the 100 days. Day 16, we're ready to start on our aqueduct. And this will be, like I said earlier, this will be providing water to all the farmlands that are down below. We're going to be building up on the opposite side of the valley. And we're going to start with building the aqueduct first, and then eventually building the pond that holds all the water in it. Throughout the course of the next few days, I spent a lot of time building it. I needed a lot of stone in order to get it done, a lot of iron for the pickaxes, so that meant I had to go back underground and dig up more stone, well, really whatever I could find. More stone, more iron, even grabbed a few extra ores to bring back up. Explored over the caves a little bit too while I was down there. There's surprisingly quite a lot. I didn't think there was going to be as many since we were just using a backport of the Caves and Cliffs mod, but it was, it was surprisingly quite expansive, and we haven't quite got to everything yet. Around day 20, we were finally ready to get started on the aqueduct. Still had to grind a little bit more on the cobblestone generator, but by the time that was done, I was ready to go. And we kind of need to do this anyways, since I need stone, and you gotta cook up stone and turn it into stone bricks. So mining a little bit of cobblestone just to wait for the furnaces. That I kind of see that as we're ready to start. We just need one last thing to do. I guess technically I wasn't really ready to start. I don't know why I said that, but oh well. So over the next 3 days, I started on the first bit of the aqueduct. Like I said earlier, I'm pretty good with design. Sometimes I can suck at trying to freestyle stuff though. So I have a design in mind for this, then I changed it a little bit. And I said, you know what, I'm going to change it a little bit more. And I then did a little extra change-ups to it, but I finally settled on something that I think is going to look pretty good. Well, at least the top part's going to look good. It's going to be floating there for a while because the amount of stone that I'll need to connect down to the ground is a lot, and quite frankly, I'm not sure why even starting with this. I don't know why I don't get the farm going, plan out where the aqueduct needs to connect up to, and then get started on that. But oh well. It was about day 24 when I ran out of stone, and I'm going to have to go back down and start mining it all up again. For now, I am going to set up a couple of 9x9 farm plots. One water in the center and the rest of it farm plots. I got some for potatoes, some for carrots, a little bit for beetroots since I don't actually have that much. And the main one is wheat, because I need wheat. And I also need carrots for that matter too, but I need wheat and seeds from wheat in order to breed up most of the animals that will have access to. Currently I don't have any chickens, but I do have pigs, sheep, and cows. I think I mentioned that earlier. But before we started planting, I decided to do a little bit of raising of the land around the village. And this is because I want to eventually move the village, not the villagers, I want to move the animals over there. I don't like where they are at the moment, and I have other plans on what to put there. And on day 25, I got the farms all in place. Now we just need to do some extra work around the area, and we'll start raking in the crops. That'll be very nice. And I think I know what my next project's going to be. I would like to make a villager breeder and a possible iron farm for that. That way I can get a lot of iron passively, I get tons of trades, potentially unlocking some nice farm trades and other goodies from the villagers. And all in all, I think it'll be pretty beneficial. Not quite on theme with what we're trying to accomplish here, but all of this is going to be set up for a much bigger payoff. Picking back up on day 26, we continue to elevate the land, and after a hard day's work, we start digging out the eventual area to where the lake will be at the top of the aqueduct. We got more than enough dirt to finish leveling off the area for the animal pens too, which is a good thing. Day 27, we started building up the new animal pens and moving them over. I didn't want to make a simple square pen, I wanted to put just a little more thought into the shape. The cow's form is a bit of a plus-like shape. The sheep have an L, and the pigs will likely just have a large rectangle due to their ability to quickly repopulate, as I had discovered in the previous 25 days. And the chickens will be in a coop once I eventually find some. I haven't found any as of making this audio recording, but if we do find some, I will definitely be making a coop for them. On day 28, we got the sheep and the pigs moved in, marking all of the animals have been moved over. I guess I did the cows yesterday, and I forgot to mention that. For the villager breeder, it's not going to be anything too fancy. Most of the time when I build these, it's just a dirt hut with a bunch of beds, a couple workbenches underneath it, nothing too fancy. I also don't have any way to automate it because I got a funny story about that. So I had, on a server, I had decided, it was the first time I made a villager breeder, and I made it an automatic one for 1.14 when the new villager AI, or the new functions for them came out. And what ended up happening was I didn't realize that they would just continuously spawn in, so I ended up lagging out the server quite a bit. And when the host was asking, well, what's going on? I said, well, I have a villager breeder, but I'm pretty sure I turned that off, only to go underground to where all the villagers are supposed to be dropped off, and realizing there's a couple hundred of them just sitting at the very end. And I had my ambient sound turned off because I was busy farming away at, I think I was killing mobs or something along those lines. But anyways, yeah, that didn't go very well. So it's for that reason alone, that I will never build an automated villager breeder. But hey, on the good news is, at least for this one, we'll not have to worry about any lag to multiplayer servers if we do go a little out of control with it. We got the breeder hut finally all set up to go. Not sure if the trapdoor addition that we've added in order to try to separate the villagers will be worth it, or even work for that matter, but time will tell. Not that I want to at the moment, as I need to up the villager count inside the actual breeding chamber before sending them out to eventually get jobs and give me emeralds and all sorts of other things, because we need lots and lots of emeralds. Day 30 rolls around, and I just need a few more beds to put in the breeder, and it will be up and operational. Well, I hope. Might have to move it a bit closer to the beachfront. It sort of depends. I remember a while ago that if you build village breeders in the middle of the village and you forget to take out all the beds, then they kind of just try to lock onto them, and it ends up not working out. So hopefully where we got it is far enough away, or maybe they got rid of that function entirely. It's possible. I don't really read all the patch notes for that stuff. Anyways, I tried hunting for some chickens, but I ended up finding what caused a lot of resets for me with trying to make 100-day videos, and that's crocodiles. And I decided to check out of there beyond the soon-to-be lake. Or I checked out the area at the soon-to-be lake. I didn't find any chickens up there, but I did find a spruce pine fir biome, or I guess like coniferous forest, that would work. And while I already had some spruce, at least I believe I should have had some spruce, I was able to bring home pine and fir trees. And we also found some yaks up there, which was pretty nice. So we'll eventually be bringing those home. I'll return home a little bit later though, mainly because it's getting dark outside, so mobs are going to spawn, and I happen to have spotted a pillager banner roaming across the plains, and I wasn't quite ready to start a raid just yet. Got more beds for the villager breeding hall, and created our first complex dish, known as the Meaty Stew. The first of many, I hope. Minecraft does have some tasty dishes for us to have. Well, at least the modded stuff does. Farmer's Delight has a lot of very tasty dishes, as you may see within the thumbnail of these 25-day parts, and even for the full video too. On day 32, we crafted up some more iron tools, and I went to go collect some sand, because I want some glass. There's a nice small island that I plan to put a lighthouse on someday. That's probably a 200-day thing, provided I continue on to 200 days for this. And as I said earlier, we'll be using the sand for glass. It's for the soon-to-be-built midway up overlook of the village. I got a lot of plans that I could do for here. I don't have enough time to see them all done, but maybe if we go on to 200 days, we might be able to make something work there. On day 33, we started smelting up the glass, and I planted some of the saplings down. I'm aiming for a spruce pine fir interior look for the mid-overlook with some cyan glass panels to add a touch of color to it. I also fed the animals and killed some pigs. Yes, the villagers count in that statement, but they won't be killed. At least yet. Anyway, they count in the being fed part, not the killed part. I wouldn't kill any villagers. Unless they've earned it, that is. Nothing too special the next day. Just chop down some pine and fir trees and finish the day with a little bit of farming. Day 35 marked the start of some construction. We started placing down the wooden beam supports when I remembered the cyan dye, which we didn't actually have. I decided to try to go hunting for some blue pickleweed. Failing to find some, I attempted to try a green flower. I forget what it was called. I'm pretty sure it should be showing up on screen what it is. I didn't happen to find any. I did, however, spot a pillager outpost not too far away from the village. This seed really is amazing. If we end up lasting long enough, we can just get constant raids going on. Upon failing to find any way to make cyan dye, whether that be through just a flower that makes it cyan dye right off the bat, or any green dye to mix with some blue dye, I'm gonna declare blue as being a good substitute for cyan. Not what I would have went with personally, but you kind of have to make things work with what you got. I got the window for the overlook built up, used some spruce for the area that'll be exposed to the elements, and fir for the more covered up stuff. Honestly, it's not looking half bad so far. A little bit more work needs to be done, but it's looking pretty good. Villagers. We always gotta feed them to make sure we get more villagers. They're a little greedy for food, you see. And they won't take just about anything. They only want the finest breads, or the finest potatoes, or the finest carrots. It's never anything else. They don't want to try any of the delicious food that I cook up. They don't want to try any raw beef. They're just pure vegetarian. Well, I guess technically in Minecraft terms they'd be pure vegan. Because the bread's only made out of wheat, and it doesn't actually require any eggs and milk and that. So I guess that's an interesting thought. Villagers were making a name for being vegans long before it was cool. Or at least some people find it cool. What was I talking about? Oh yes, day 38. We continued also to work on the overlook, and I started to build out the next glass lookout point, which is part of the path up. Unfortunately for me, we hit another blood moon, not blood room. I guess I don't need sleep that night. Who needs sleep? Am I right, ladies and gentlemen? Who needs sleep? Fortunately, throughout last night, we didn't lose another iron golem like the last time. No more needless sacrifices for the iron golems. I got to clean up all the mess that was the mob drops, though, so that was something. I might still take some of those iron golems out for the iron, but, for now, these guys, they're alright. And also, behold what I've created. My temporary dirt trading strip. Not really the haul I had in mind, but, I'm... It's not the main point of this 100 days. If we keep going on, we'll eventually put something up. Something a lot fancier, but this is gonna be for now the, I guess, technically permanent solution, since we don't have any plans on trading it for something better. No worries. We also moved 2 villager breeders out from the breeding hovel into the trading hovel. And while one of them wanted to leave for some other place, the other one decided to move in and became a Fletcher. So, time to get trading for some delicious emeralds. It was also on day 40 that I decided to myself that I had set this up wrong. So how it should be going is from my position, in front of me should be workstation, where the villager sits, fence gate / fence. Oh wait, no. No, wait, no. Sorry, it should be fence gate right in front, fence or fence gate right in front of me, then the villager, and then the workstation behind that. And these guys are quite annoying to get their spots. They just want to keep running for the hills. You know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen? They just want to keep running. Try to escape from us. Fortunately, none of them suffered any workplace accidents, and we were able to get everything set back up again. So, all in a day's work. And on day 41, we started the day by getting 2 more villagers set up. Tomorrow we'll be adding on a weaponsmith, an armorsmith, and a toolsmith, so I can start to grind for diamond equipment, since my luck with hunting for diamonds isn't nearly as great as I'd like it to be. Mainly because of the deep slate, I believe it's called. I don't remember the block name. Anyways, we finished up the second framed glass lookout. It just needs a little bit of dirt touch-ups to finish, but that can come at a bit of a later point. No rush for that. The next day, we did a large harvest of all the crops in the area, which got a nice collection of emeralds from, by the way. And we also leveled up our farmers a couple levels. Managed to move all 3 diamond equipment trading professions in before the day was done, which is good. Now I'll just need 2 villagers to trade raw meat to, since we have a huge surplus of that. And with that, I'll have all the professions I think I'll need for the time being. I might add a fisherman in, some libraries in, a florist, and a cartographer in a bit later on. But for the time being, this is going to be as finished as I'd like it to be. And speaking of butchers, I got them both moved into place, though at the cost of some of the villagers inside the actual breeding area itself. I kind of wanted to rush this a little bit along, but hey, you know, this is no big deal since I can always make more, and I'm not really in need for any additional villagers anytime soon. And now we have the villagers to help us make a ton of emeralds, which we've spent a lot of time trying to get and obtain diamond gear, as I'd like some nice armor to be able to eventually do something I have planned for the works. I'm not sure if we'll get to it in these 100 days, but it would be very nice if we could. I still got a couple other things I'd like to do before we go out for that point. Well, several things before we go out for that, but just know for now that we got some good things in the works. So I do wish I didn't end up ending this on a bit of an anticlimactic note, but in my notes, all we did really from day 44 to about day 47 is chop down a bunch of trees, and then afterwards, from day 48 to day 50, we just spent harvesting animals and trading with the villagers. So, on camera now, and I'm choosing this as a good spot to put this up, is, well, this was my... How many attempts was this? I forget how many attempts I did to make this, but I went back at the stew recipe. Oh, it was my second attempt. That's right. It was my second attempt? Yeah, I don't remember. It was either my second or third, or I'm not 100% sure. I kind of forget this. But on screen now is the stew that I had made from last time. Only I made a few changes to it. For instance, instead of using lamb, there's now beef. So cubes of beef that's meant for stew has been added in, giving it a bit of a better color. I did away with the oats that I originally had in it, and I'm not a big fan of mushrooms, so I took that out as well. Honestly, the difference between the two of them with regards to the mushrooms, it wasn't barely anything, so I don't think the recipe ended up losing anything from taking out the mushrooms, which is a good thing. But yeah, this looks a lot nicer, a little bit brighter in terms of color, which is really good. I kind of played a little around with it. Well, I wasn't measuring nearly as well this time around with what I threw in. But, however, I did make sure, this was the one thing I absolutely 100% double-checked, made sure that I would not make the same mistake again. Make sure that I don't add in too much pepper. And the result was it tastes fantastic. It was amazing. Both my parents even took it for a couple of days for lunch, which was nice because the last time it was just me eating it up for a week. And this, oh, this was really good. I only had it for lunch a couple of days because, well, other people were eating it. But yes, I actually managed to do something really well. And this one, the last one I was happy with. This one, this stew I am proud of. Absolutely very happy of. I got no idea what I'm going to make next, since as of recording this, I don't actually have anything ready to go. I'm thinking I might make a dessert type item next, because I've been looking at a couple of dessert-ish items, and I think I might make one up for you guys to show. Either that, or it's going to be well, the way I'll make a sandwich on, say, a Saturday afternoon, as a sort of you eat this sandwich, and you're basically good for the rest of the day. You don't really need to eat anything else. You're filled up from it. Well, yeah, sorry to end this on this episode on a bit of an anticlimactic note. Well, if you're watching the 25-day part, then sorry to end it on a bit of a unclimactic, I had the word on the tip of my tongue and I forgot it already. Sorry to end it on a bit of a dull note, but if you are watching the full video, then obviously we're just going to skip right into day 51. So we're going to be starting off these 25 days off right by having OBS crash and not record about 8 or 9 days. Yeah, it wasn't really, I don't know what happened there. I have fixed it, so that's not going to happen for any of the other days. Hopefully it shouldn't happen for any other days. But we did lose a little bit of footage from days 51 to day 58. Or about day 58. So I'm just going to go over a quick recap of what I've done. I've done a lot of trading. I've done a lot of pig relocation. By relocation, I mean life relocation. We've relocated their lives elsewhere. Most of the wood that I had for trading was gone. And I decided to try to trade for some lava buckets for emeralds, which unfortunately I didn't get the bucket back, which was unfortunate. I managed to get our armor smith and got the toolsmith as well. Or did I get the toolsmith? No, I didn't get the toolsmith. Just the armor smith up to diamond tier. Toolsmith we tried to get up, however the trades weren't that great. And well, I also went mining. And it was about on day 57 that I noticed that OBS had crashed. So for day 50, and it did again on day 58. So we're going to actually be picking this up on day 59. So on day 59, I did even more mining due to only having my diamond pickaxe left now. We're going to start backtracking through the caves and picking up every ore, including the diamonds that I thankfully didn't pick up yet. I wouldn't want you to think that I was cheating with this stuff. I don't know why I wrote that, but, well, I wrote it. Day 60, I knew I had at least left 4 diamonds behind, but I wasn't expecting to dig up 4 diamond ore just by mining coal and iron, which was a really good find. One more day down here and I should be back to topside to show off my villagers, as well as trade for tools and weaponsmiths. I'd like to get them to master soon. The next day we made it back home and we had a really impressive haul. I'm sure in the future I'll be doing bigger digging sessions, especially when I get the mining drilled, though only if you guys, yes, all you viewers out there, want to see more of this, so let me know in the comments, or let me know by liking this video, or the full 100-day one, which in this case would also be this video. Moving on to the next day, we got our weaponsmith to master rank, and he's got a really sweet enchanted axe trade, plus a handful of other weapons, which will be very nice. Just need the toolsmith, and we'll have diamond tools on speed dial. Day 63, and he went through about 3 stacks of iron that we dug up. Oh boy, that was a lot of iron used on maxing out our toolsmith, but it was worth it. Mostly. For some reason, he did not come with a diamond shovel trade, which is a little annoying, because now I have to level up another one. But that's something that I gotta do later, because if I try to spend more time doing it now, then I won't have enough time for what I got planned, so it's unfortunate. Most unfortunate. But, at the very least, the diamond pickaxe, I did get the diamond pickaxe trade, so hey, there's at least some sort of a win. And I can always craft iron shovels, since I have tons of iron to spare. I tried to say spend and spare there. That really didn't end up coming out nicely. Well, I wanted to upgrade the scribe to the max level to see what I could get. The Stephilian bird feathers were already a great pickup, which I got from trading to him, since I can turn them into nice arrow projectiles. I don't know what the difference between those arrows and a normal arrow is. I'm assuming that they just go farther, or they maybe hit harder. I don't know. I'm not an arrow connoisseur when it comes to these things. I'm not looking at them going, yes, the detail behind this is so very exquisite. These bronze arrows clearly make him go much farther, or travel in a straight line much better than those peasant-level chicken feather arrows. Yes. That was not the accent I was trying to go for, but you know what? We're going to roll with it. After killing almost 100 pigs, I don't know where I got that number from. I don't even think I was counting. Anyways, after doing that and trading away the mint that I got to the butcher, because for some reason you can trade mint to butchers, I finally upgraded our scribe to master level, and he trades for Hydra teeth. These can make poisonous leeching arrows, which are pretty sweet, and something we'll be using against crocodiles at the end of the valley. Well, I don't need to use those arrows specifically, but we're using them against large and dangerous monsters, like a large dragon per se, if we happen to find one, or run across one. Hopefully that's not the case. Day 65, I decided I wanted one more farmer to trade wheat for even more emeralds. Had him at the right trade, but unfortunately he kinda ran off a little bit. Guess I'll have to wait, but no big deal. We can always go crocodile hunting tomorrow once we have more Stephilian arrows. And I don't think I'm saying that right, so to anybody who's listening to this and hearing me say it, my bad. My bad, I'm not pronouncing it right. Yeah, so remember that crocodile I saw at the end of the valley? It turns out it was just one. So, no big deal. But we did get a chance to see up to the end of the valley, and this place is just a perfect village valley. If you guys want to see more, I'll be expanding throughout the whole valley. Just let me know. Again, I don't know why I've said this twice, but let me know in the comments. Hit the like button if you're enjoying it. I don't know where I'm getting these numbers from, but another 80 pigs have bitten the dust in pursuit of emeralds and experience. I should probably make an enchantment setup for our armor and prepare for the last 25 days, because I got something special planned. And I promise it doesn't involve going on huge bouts of mass pig genocide, since that seems to be a reoccurring theme of this next stretch of days. A little bit of the last set now that I think about it, but it's a reoccurring theme for me basically here until day 90 maybe? Yes, I have that far recorded in advance. For our enchantment setup, we're going to need some wood for bookshelves, which means we're finally getting rid of some of the trees in the area, just to then replant them again later. On day 69, I decided it's time for an adventure, mainly because I don't have enough leather to get a full enchanting setup, and I need to wait for the cows to grow up a little bit. So I decided to go off to the pillager tower, and I found some nice blast-proof blocks, which is pretty good, some wooden tiles as floors, which I'll take a bit later, and found quite a bit of chests loaded with loot, which included 4 corrupted eyes. Yes, I do have the, I forget the mod name. If I remember to, I'll put it up on the screen, but it's basically where you have to get 12 different types of eyes, and you put them into the portal, instead of just ender eyes, so it makes it a bit harder. And well, if I really want to go for like say going after the ender dragon in the next 100 days or the like, I'm gonna have to really spend a lot of time exploring. Although that's not the point of this series. The point of this series is we're going to cook a lot. So I will eventually need to make my way to the end because they have some food there that I would like. Some, I think only one. Unless I don't... Well, no, hold on. We have energetic ender something. It's one of the mods by abnormal, so we got that there. So there might be some. I think we also have better end installed. So there might be a little bit more from that. I don't actually remember all the mods I've installed, so perhaps there's a bunch more in there that I'm not thinking of. But we will at least be getting one food from the end. On the next day, it's time to hit up the Nether Fortress, or at least try to find one. The magma wastes are pretty cool looking, but unfortunately, no fortress in them. So in the background, as I attempt to find the Nether Fortress, I figured this is a good time to insert. I'm going to put in for today's little thing that I made. It's nothing too complicated, as you can tell. Just a nice pasta dinner with some garlic bread, a glass of milk, and a Mill Street organic there. I don't know if that's a local sell thing, so if it is, then hey, you know, around the region where I live, there's also some fudge on the side there. I didn't eat the whole box of fudge, don't worry. I only had a small sliver of it at the time. But yeah, not everything has to be very special or complex in order to be really good. For instance, if it were up to me personally, the sauce would have been some of my mum's homemade sauce, which is really good, especially when we have all the ingredients right out of our vegetable gardens to be able to make it together. And the pasta, well, there's a little pasta shop downtown that makes pasta and sells it by, well, at a pretty reasonable price. Garlic bread was, well, it's pretty much garlic bread. I'm not about to whip out a bread maker and start making that. I wouldn't know the first thing about it. Though, with a little bit of reading, you can do just about anything. That's the beauty of sort of cooking and everything, and well, really anything out there. You put your mind to it, there's almost nothing you can accomplish. And I say almost nothing because there are some things that are, well, quite many things. But in the grand scheme of everything in the world, not as much, or on a small percentage. Where was I going with this? Anyways, there's almost nothing you can't do if you put your mind to it and have the willingness to learn. As well, I'm slowly learning how to, cook things better, make more complicated dishes, etc., etc. Next episodes, I'm actually going to, if I remember to, I'm going to do 2, and by next episode, I mean next part. I accidentally interchange them sometime. But I plan on doing 2, another really simple one, and one that I did really recently that I'm very proud of. And I know I enjoyed it all while I was eating lunch and dinner the couple of times I got to have it there. But yeah, sometimes the simple things in life can be just enough to get by. I definitely know for this, I sat in front of the TV and went to myself, this is a pretty easy for me to make, pretty simple, but at the moment, I feel like a king. I feel royalty just eating this, sitting on the couch, watching some TV, a nice big plate full of pasta with some garlic bread. It sounds silly, maybe. Up to some people but the people out there who understand, you get it. Something you take the time to make, something you take the time to gather everything together and create, make it your own. That's sort of what these 100 days are. I'm very proud to be able to create all of this and enjoy it and share it with others. Granted, I can't share the food that you're seeing on screen now with you, but, well, try making it yourself sometime. Never know, you could impress yourself. Alright, I think that's about enough time ranting on about this. So, let's get back to finding that Nether Fortress, shall we? Yesterday's events, though, was fine, as we did end up finding a Nether Fortress. Not too long into the day, and I spent the whole day and night looting it. plus farming a bit for blaze rods, I would like some potion making, and I think I could also use the blaze rods for a recipe, for a beer recipe, in one of the kegs. Correct me if, well, I will correct myself if I'm wrong, but I believe it's required in order to make one of the, I think, a drought of fire resistance or something along those lines. Regardless, the more blaze rods we have, the better. It means we don't have to go back anytime soon, and it helps to further my goals for the final 25 days. We returned home the next day and went back to farming. Might as well, since I kind of need those cows to grow up and give me some leather so we can get the enchantment books, or the books that we need for the enchantment table setup that we got going on. So this was about day 73, and I had just finished watching the shulks in action for the for 1.19. I think it was a snapshot video. I don't remember. But yeah, I was watching, seeing how it worked, and it was pretty cool. And it made me think of, well, what would happen if one were to be in the world, and it would happen to be catching all these, all the dead pigs. I don't know why I brought this up every single time I went on a pig massacre. Anyways, my note says, good thing I don't have any shulks have yet to be implemented, else I'd have a huge infestation on my hands of shulk blocks. And also, like, wardens. Now, that's something I don't think I could take on. Maybe we could send a dragon after it, but I don't think we ourselves could take that on. Anyways, we got another farmer moved in. I was waiting for wheat trade. I think there's also a strawberry one in there too, but I have yet to see that pop up. If we can get that, though, that would be very nice, because then we can start to sell our strawberries for emeralds. And we'll be one step closer to having every food that we can grow as a trade for emeralds, which I would really like, because obviously the more emeralds we're going to make, the easier it's going to be for me to get all the tools, weapons, armor, whatever I need going. And it'll also help when I want to power level other villagers up to their profession tiers. I know I'd eventually like to get a mason in there, so I can get, some sort of blocks. I also have the better villagers, I think it's what it's called, or more villagers. I'm not sure, but it adds in a few other professions as well, including a netherologist and an enderologist, which we can use to get some materials from at least the vanilla versions of the biomes. Potentially also some from abnormals, maybe, but probably not. Though what we could get from them will be pretty sweet. I'm not sure actually why I didn't make a netherologist just yet. I think it was because I can't get blaze rods from them, but anyways. Point being from all of this is I really hope we get a strawberry trade from one of the farmers soon. Day 74, decided that taking everything to trade that rather than taking everything to trade as soon as I harvest it, I'm going to use one of the backpacks that I looted from the Nether Fortress to store it full of the crops and pork inside of it, and then trade it all at once just before midday. Also, I realized something as well that I feel a little embarrassed about. The scribe homes have bookshelves in them. So I could have had this set up days ago when I wanted to do this, because we got 2 of them in this village. So yeah, that's you know what? I'm just dedicated. It's just dedication to wanting to get it some cows. Dedicated to last. I'm too intelligent to use the bookshelves that are provided by game. No. We need to create our own ones. Yes, that's the proper way of doing this. We have to create our own bookshelves. And thanks to our efforts in the previous few days, we marked day 75 as finally getting a good set of enchantments on my armor, and I even got a new pickaxe with Fortune 2 and Efficiency 5, which is beautiful. Unfortunately, well, I guess kind of fortunately, it was a blood moon out that night. Meaning while I couldn't sleep the night away, I decided to go mining with it. And with the enchantments going, the potion brewing, the villagers to trade, a good variety of food at my disposal, I'm nearing my big goal for the next 25 days. We've eaten quite a few different types of food. However, one of the things I've wanted to do is bag some big game for the food. And what better big game there is out there than an ice and fire dragon? So, in the next 25 days, I plan on going out, trying to hunt one of these beasts down, and bringing back some dragon meat. Dragon flesh? I think dragon flesh, that's what it is. Bringing back some dragon flesh to eat on the final day of these 100 days. Potentially of this world too, depending on if people are interested in it. But nevertheless, we're going big game hunting in the next 25 days at some point. So a bit of time had passed between days 75 and 76, so I kind of needed a little bit of time to reorient myself while I figure out what my task was. Which, if you remember from day 75, is finding a dragon and killing the dragon. I'm still going to need some potions before I head out, plus some additional arrows, but we still got some time. At least, at the moment, we still have time. In my notes for 77, I said I wasn't sure what I was trying to accomplish with today. And quite frankly, I'm not quite sure what I mean, because in the next point it says I got 3 fire resistance potions. So I guess today I spent some time doing random things and getting fire resistance potions. And on day 78, I decided it's time to head out and slay a dragon. I'm a bit nervous as this is hardcore mode, and if we die, that's it. Game over for this run. Unfortunately for me, we didn't run across one today. Or fortunately for me, I guess depending on your point of view. I did find a graveyard though, and a nice set of ruins that gave me rice, lettuce, and tomatoes. Great plants to plant at home if we manage to make it home alive. And I also happened to eye a sea serpent. And this is important because in Ice and Fire's configs, I believe there is a 1,000 block limit, or it's either 1,000 block diameter, I believe it's diameter, where no Ice and Fire mob is allowed to spawn in. And that's to prevent you from immediately dying once you start up. I have prior experience of being burnt alive as soon as I spawn into a world, or getting the old, I have a massive dragon that's deciding to wake up and kill me because I spawned on top of its nest. Well, at least several blocks on top of it. But the point being is that now we're getting to the point where we've traveled to a point where we're gonna start to find these mobs. So hopefully a dragon will come sometime soon. The next day, I'm close to the edge of the land in the direction I decided to go, and there's still no dragons. I guess I gotta go empty-handed. Or am I? Am I going home empty-handed? Not really. Look at the inventory that I'll hopefully remember to show. So reading the notes for day 80 made me realize what I was hinting at the previous day. I was kind of hoping that, hey, I know that there are sea serpent skulls. I forgot that they are also pretty rare. If I managed to kill one, it'd make for a good trophy for our restaurant, right? Though this kind of surprised me in the fact that the serpent went down with a single shot of my bow. I know it's strong, but it's not that strong. No, who am I kidding? Of course, we'd figure out the reason that day. Turns out it had been heavily weakened by fighting some drown which were guarding an underwater sea pyramid, and that had some decent loot inside. No skull for me though, but a few scales and tooth teeth is still something. It's not what I want, to be honest, but it's what we got, so I guess we'll have to live with it. Hopefully we find a dragon. Hopefully. So yesterday I decided to head back home after filling up my inventory. And today I finished packing the dirt around the glass window up to the overlook, and I did some farming. I'm going to try to have the overlook restaurant area finished up and ready for service before day 100. So hopefully, in the event we don't find a dragon, at least we got a really nice restaurant. Or, I guess, a bar, cafe, something along those lines. With the plant farm all taken care of now, time to continue work on the Overlook restaurant, which still needs a name for it. We'll figure that out later. For furnishing our inside, I decided to go with a nice oak and stripped oak furniture and decor. Plus some carpets, though I have no idea what color they'll be. And of course, back to killing many pigs. Apparently, I've missed doing it for so much raw pork. I don't know why I wrote that down. Maybe I was really angry that day. Not sure. Unfortunately, so over time, it seems that our bar, cafe, restaurant area has decided to become a hotspot for the iron golems. Unfortunately, I don't want them here. We need to evict them, although we can't just say that we're killing them, so... Or evict them for no reason, so we're saying they're not paying taxes. Yes, that's exactly what. They're not paying their taxes, so they're not allowed to be here. Just need to get some more arrows, and we'll be taking them all out, because I ain't going up against them with my sword. No. I'd prefer to live. I like living. The Iron Golem Death Show wasn't nearly as entertaining as the pig, but it got the job done. Time to work on the bar area, and eventually the cooking area as well. And for the next 5 days, 85 through 89, I spent nothing but restaurant construction. So for these last 25 days, I decided that I'm going to actually have 2 things that I made show up on camera. One not so impressive, which is going to be this one, and one that might be a little more impressive a bit later on. So the first one I got, it's nothing too special, just a nice breakfast. Although I had this one for dinner because, well, I was feeling breakfast for dinner that day. Like I said, nothing too special, just some store-bought sausage. The bacon, I think, came from a local butcher, if I remember correct. I'm not going to say where it is because that would probably reveal a little too much of where I live. And then eggs are, well, eggs. I like using some rye bread with that, which, fun fact, I didn't actually used to like. I think it was when I was 18, that's when I first really tried it and went, hey, you know what, this isn't so bad. So I've been eating rye bread ever since. Before it used to be a mix of whole wheat and, white bread. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Anyways, like I said, nothing too impressive. Just, something I took and went, hey, you know what, I did a pretty good job with this. Now, let's get back to what we were actually doing. Day 91, it's finally ready. Well, mostly ready. 10 days work later, just need some ingredients to cook up, plus some tasty food and a good name for the place. And with all of that taken care of, I'm going to now empty my inventory and get ready to go back out on a dragon hunt. I really want to serve up a plate of dragon meat as a grand opening. Also going to need to figure out how to use the kegs, though a quick search on the Curse Forge page should probably fix that. Overall, should I end up dying in my quest for a dragon, I'll be happy that I at least left a pretty good tavern behind, and an amazing seed to possibly do a retry on, with maybe a couple of odd additions here and there. Seriously though, this was a really good seed for me. I don't know if it would ever spawn in vanilla. I guess you'd have to try to test that out, but yeah, I'd recommend trying to find a seed like this. Really cool. I like it. So I still need some arrows, and I decided to go farming to get emeralds for today, so that tomorrow I may trade them. 92, I used the farming from yesterday to get the emeralds of today, plus played another round of Pig Massacre Simulator. I really do feel bad for these guys at this point. The next day, we got the arrows in my back pocket and a nice chunk of emeralds to boot. I was about to leave to explore the only direction that I can go for dragon hunting without risking death by a sea serpent when I noticed, where are my potions? Where did I put them? I kind of need those. So I had to go back and also grab some more. And while I was at it, I also got some strength potions and upgraded my backpack. So I guess technically it was worthwhile. Alright, no more playing around, ladies and gentlemen. 94, we gotta go out hunting. I only have a few days left, and I really want to get this done. Unfortunately, by the end of the day, I didn't find any dragons, but I did find a nice sizable village not too far away. This one had some really nice structures here, including a scribe house that contained a rotten egg. With one more, we could breed a cockatrice army. How cool would that be in the future? Seriously, using a bunch of cockatrices to eventually kill a dragon by withering it away. Oh, that would be really neat. Unfortunately, we landed in another blood moon, not room. Provided that the villagers can survive the night, this would be a great village to make something out of, if we continue to play in this world. Also, as a bit of a side note, while we're surviving through blood moons, something that I've at least noticed in the past, and it's kind of why I'm actually a little hopeful for the next day, is that I noticed a lot in RL Craft, the videos that you go to watch on YouTube, and heck, even my own experience, dragons tend to spawn pretty close to villages for some reason. At least the surface ones do, so I'm thinking we might be closer to one than I originally thought when I was doing this. And turns out, ladies and gentlemen, that statement rings true. Not far from that village, after following the plains into a large pumpkin forest, I found one. A real dragon! He's alive! I am so eager to take this beast on, however, the fire he's spewing is causing a lot of legs, so I better do this battle in the water where I can't suddenly be immolated in fire. Although the fire resist potion is going to help with that, I don't want to immediately combust upon the initial damage by getting hit by the breath. And after some time, we managed to fell the beast. Unfortunately, he doesn't want to be looted. Which sucks. I spent so long trying to get ready for this, and now I can't even get him out. And unless relog into the world works, we killed our first dragon, and we can't even claim the loot from it. What a sad and depressing day this ended up being. And just as fast as we found that dragon and killed that dragon, the sad note from the previous day has been completely voided because a relog was all I needed to get the dragon back to phase back into reality and allow me to collect some ingredients from it. I got a decent amount of scales, a piece of flesh, a bottle of blood, a skull, and a heart, and some bones. And that's all I really came out here to grab. So time to quickly head back home and prepare a delicious feast in the overlooked tavern. Now with a dragon skull as you enter and a pair of banners, if I can figure out how to apply them. I'm not sure what I meant by that. I think I had a banner pattern that I was trying to apply to them. And on 97, I figured it out. Turns out I'm just incompetent at using the loom. Not anymore though. I can make all the patterns I want. And with 3 banners later, we have a nice entryway into the tavern, which still needs a name. I still need to come up with a name for it. I'm gonna get some meat, a bit of leather, and start making a nice feast for the village. Day 98, I picked out some food, mostly based on what we got and what looks great. Also searched up the BeerCraft mod to get recipes for one of the drinks. I'm gonna need some food to make the better food, so time to start the harvest. Tomorrow will be the pig harvest, which we'll be doing with the diamond knife. Day 99, I realized I had a slight bit of a problem. While gathering the ingredients I need, I failed to notice that I don't actually have any sweet berries. So I'll have to go and try to find some. Only problem is, I have yet to find any. Better hurry, tomorrow is elf. Hurry up for tomorrow. I don't know why, that was a weird word. Yeah, I didn't write that note down properly. Point is, better hurry up because I need to get this before tomorrow, else I'm gonna not have enough time to cook most of the food. And finally, almost at the very end, or at the very end, depending when I believe this is going to be a good part to add this into, we got a stuffed pepper and a stuffed tomato. Now this one I was really proud of making. And my dad, well, mainly me, my dad just sort of helped out with prep work. We decided, hey, we're gonna make some stuffed peppers and tomatoes because my mom doesn't actually like peppers. So we made them up, and I gotta say, it was really good. The only nitpicky thing I would probably make is the sausage. I probably would have went with different in sausage. We just got a store-bought stuff. I know a couple of butcheries within the area, or within a, within a reasonable distance away from where I live. I could have went to go and, well, get some better quality sausage for it. Not that this one wasn't bad, it was actually alright, but still, that's my only one little nitpick for this. Aside from that, honestly, it went really well, and it was tasty. I had it for lunch for 3 days, because for some reason nobody else seemed to really care to eat it. Or they had something else that, I don't know. But yes, I really like making this, and actually, I still have it quite off the top of my head. Which surprises me, because I'm not normally good at making stuff. So yes, this is the last food dish that we'll have in these 100 days of CookingCraft. If we ever do a 200 days, then I'll be sure to whip up some more stuff, and well, yeah, hopefully I'll have some nice tasty dishes for this. Oh, by the way, for the recipe of this, you could just go look online. We, for the most part, followed it. I think there may have been a slight deviation or two. I'm not sure. But anyways, all 4 dishes, well, 5 dishes actually, within these 100 days of CookingCraft. Hope you like these little additions that I added into there, and sort of gives you, maybe it might inspire somebody someday to go, you know what, I'm gonna make some of this out there. This looked really good, and hey, I want to give it a try. And if I have inspired anybody, then, well, I'm happy to hear that. Unfortunately for us, despite spending the day trying to look for some, just couldn't find any sweet berries. In post, there might have been some in the village outpost, but I didn't think to check there at the time. So I think I ended up making a different recipe anyways. But I spent the whole night and a little bit of day 101, but we're still gonna call it day 100. Just a part 2 to it. Not sure what I meant by that, but anyways, at the very last moment, we finally we got a small feast with a bit of improvised foods from what I was going to make. We're definitely going to be enjoying this. Hopefully in the next 100 days, that depends on what you guys say. But yes, there it is. 100 days, and we got a nice served up food in the dragon, in what I'm going to call the Dragon's Den Overlook Tavern. Bit of a mouthful to say right there, but yeah, there we go. What a nice looking feast that is, eh, ladies and gentlemen? And that's the show, ladies and gentlemen. 100 days of my CookingCraft mod collection, done and dusted. Took me a long time to play, a lot longer to edit, but in the end, I enjoyed the whole experience. Maybe not the editing as much as the gameplay, but still, I enjoyed all of it as a whole. I'd like to know, though, would you be interested in another 100 days with a few extra mods added into this? This world, this 100 days of CookingCraft has a lot of potential, so much potential going forward, and I can do so much more in this world. However, I do have another collection put together, ready to go for a new round of 100 days. So let me know if you want to see another 200 days in CookingCraft. I plan on making the other one a longer lasting series. So again, let me know if you want to see our cooking adventure continue. As always, thank you for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you really enjoyed. Don't forget to share this video or any of my other videos to anybody who you think will enjoy my content. And let me know in the comment section if you want 200 days of CookingCraft. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take it easy.